Welcome back. Well, let's look around a little bit here, find out where exactly we are. Already seen that the keep is down there. So let's look upstairs first, see if there's anything else of interest here. Well, there's not much here, except for some windows. And it seems that we are indeed inside the planet's ring, floating in between these rocks. So these are quite big rocks for a planetary ring. I think that rings of Saturn are supposed to be mostly gravel-sized rocks. Not quite this big. But I don't know enough about astronomy to know whether or not you could have planetary rings with these kinds of rocks. There's the planet. Can see it even more clearly from this window. I guess those are smaller rocks or dust particles or something. All those little pins of light floating by the window. And over there, that little green moon is undoubtedly where we came from. Must be where the telescopes are. Well, let's go down, see what we've got there. One thing I wonder is how the Dunny got this thing up here. Did they basically link people in spacesuits to this particular location, or... Actually, no, that wouldn't work either. Just to make a linking book here, they'd have to get here first. So apparently the Dunny have rocket technology or something that would allow them to bring this thing from the planet or that moon, probably from the moon, to this location. Or maybe there's some completely different way they could have done this that I'm just not seeing. I'm not sure. Maybe they used the power of the Barrow. Which is, I guess, the Dunny way of saying a wizard did it. Okay. Well, it seems there's not much else here to see, except the pretty view of the rocks and the planet. So, let's check out the keep. It looks like the moon is out the window in Kavir. Funny. Well, touch the slate, and we have unlocked yet another side of the tablet. Which is nice. And that means, of course, that we are done here. So that's 2 down, 2 to go. Let's head back to Durabo. And into the tunnels. Okay. Well, not much else to see here, so let's move on. We could go back up, but there's no point in doing that. But on this side, there is a similar elevator shaft. Oh, and another piece of Yisha's journal. It seems that this is the drawing of Tamana with Atreus and Catherine and their new child, Yisha.
Tamana, my home, the place where I was, the place where I began. I was a spark of joy to Mother and Father after their fire was almost quenched. And yet what joy could we have had if my brothers had been there as well? Still torn. Father and Mother loved and shared with me their desert bird. Father shared wisdom and knowledge, and Mother shared visions and dreams. When did they come to know my destiny? Surely not from birth. As I look back, they knew so much, they saw so clearly. They planted and watered so that I would learn how to do the same. I would not realize it until long after I was to see them no longer. Am I the grower because they taught me? Or did they teach me because I am the grower? Torn. But peace was not yet with us. From the past an enemy came seeking revenge, but there was help for a third time. Without help, where would we be? Would there be a grower? Would there be a seed to grow? It's all been so fragile. But it must be by the Maker I am here, and there is meaning. Or it may be by the role I am here, and there is no meaning.
Yisha is referring to some of the events from Myst V, of course. The enemy from the past mentioned here is, of course, Savidro. And Yisha is also asking a very fundamental question. Did she make herself the grower, or was she always preordained to be the grower? It is a good question to ask, not an easy one to answer though. Okay, well, let's call this elevator. Let's head down. Seems that this is significantly less far down than the other elevator. And now we are at the bottom of the great shaft. And our good friend Asher shows up again.
Stand in awe.
Somehow I think he means it unironically.
The surface is 3 miles above us. 3 miles. Our construction was triumphant and tragic. You will not be able to continue downward without providing fresh air to the tunnels. Raise this floor and power the fans. I trust you can discover how.
3 miles down? Honestly, I did not have the impression that it was that far. I suppose it's possible, but it certainly didn't seem like it. Especially if you consider that the previous resting place where we just came from, when we saw that in Tudani and read Dr. Watson's journal there, he said it was halfway up or down the great shaft. Well, if that's halfway, then it's definitely not 3 miles. I don't know. Maybe Dr. Watson wasn't being quite literal when he said halfway. Maybe Escher is just exaggerating. In either case, I gotta give him points because of at least this does look very similar to what we saw at the end of Urutudani. Even though then we couldn't actually get here, we could only see it from above. But we'll look around here further in the next video.